All right, so first off, I want to say thank you for getting me a check-in on a consistent basis. That part is important, and I'm glad you've held up your end of the bargain by doing so. Now, there were a few things I wanted to overlay you. One with your check-in on number, week number 2 and 4. But I want to go off on 4. You mentioned something about not feeling good mentally about the whole thing with dieting. Can you tell me a little bit more, maybe on a deeper scale, what that means to you personally?
Yeah, there's just like people in my family who have had eating disorders in the past. So, like, diet culture within my family is kind of like a hard topic. It's kind of like eat freely as you are. Like my sister had some like anorexic problems in high school, and I don't know. I just try to kind of steer away from that because it makes me feel weird. So I don't like to get into that sort of mental space with that.
Okay, that I did not know, so I appreciate you for
Yeah,
opening up on your side.
yeah, no worries.
So is it more of the sense that you can't do the whole mac? Is it more of you choose to not do it because you're in the vicinity with your family, or is it more of something you're not really leaning into doing?
It's I would say it's kind of like a mashup of both. Like I just don't really um like I did try it and for like a day or two, and it just started making me feel weird mentally towards like the food and like how I go about consuming it. Like I've never had to go about weighing it or anything like that, so it just made things feel like very unnatural to me. So
Okay,
as far as
so
macro diet, like that kind of stuff, and weighing out the food.
okay, gotcha. Now, before I look at an actual solution, now we talked a little bit before about what you've tried in the past. Did you notice what you did try in the past? Did you see any potential or possible weight loss what you used to do back then versus now?
Well, that's the other thing too. Like, um, I was in a kind of a different space mentally, I would say, a couple of years ago when I was more active and working out. And I did like protein shakes and stuff, and that was like my meal replacement sometimes. But I didn't have the association of like, oh, like I'm weighing this out or anything like that with it. It wasn't like necessarily having the association of the two things being like, oh, this is my diet culture now. Like I was just kind of doing it because like I was doing it with a lot of other people, so it made me feel a little more comfortable probably. So like I was doing like a lot of protein shakes. Like I was doing Herbalife at one point too. So
Okay, Herbalife. And
yeah.
back then, did you see again any possible weight loss? Maybe it was more consistent then versus now.
Um yeah, maybe it was more consistent then. I was slightly younger obviously. And I don't know. I had a different regimen than what I'm doing now that like it wasn't a whole lot of weights, it was just a lot of cardio. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, given your schedule as a chef, I noticed the big thing was the whole routine thing and you having to work extra doubles on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, which didn't really give you enough time to progress in a routine. With that in mind, the days that are available for you outside of Monday is Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and maybe Friday. Is there anything on between the week do you think creates friction from stopping you from wanting to work out?
Um, no, I would say it's usually just the weekend. It kind of sucks with my schedule and like the career I'm in because my schedule varies, but like I'm guaranteed to always have off on Monday. But like whether I work in the morning, or at night, or if I'm working from morning to night, um, it kind of I have to kind of work with whatever they tell me I need to work. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not like working a regular 9 to 5 where somebody has off on the weekends. Like I literally just work what hours I'm told to work, and they vary all the time. So, but I would say if we're going to guarantee some days, I can at least guarantee that like a Tuesday and Wednesday, I will always work the afternoon. But like the days after that, it's like I really have no idea. It's whatever my chef tells me to do. So that
Okay.
can kind of mess up the whole routine thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, totally makes sense there.
Yeah.
Okay, so the biggest thing that I'm seeing is community. So what I'm going to have you do is really log in a little bit of a network between you and Brandon that I'm working with. So maybe you can see a little bit about what he is doing in his life and how we could maybe possibly you can find ways to relate it back into your life. Seeing as community was what helped you before in the past with the whole Herbalife situation, I do find that having a community behind you would really just give you a feeding back ultimatum to get the results or get you to where you want to be. Wouldn't you think so?
Yeah, I would say maybe it would benefit me in some ways, but we'll see. You know, that was maybe it was different back then. Maybe it might be different now. You know.
Okay. And the second thing was a viable solution. I did mention to you through Messenger over on Trainer Rise about the portion thing, which is basically
Yeah.
can sizes and foods and all of that. You told me you were okay fairly about it. Though I would like to hear from you about what you think about that and what possible ideas you think of yourself that you prefer moving forward.
I don't know. Like I had mentioned earlier, it's just kind of like be more so a knowledgeable eater. You know what I'm saying? Like be knowledgeable of what you're eating and what you're putting in your body. And I don't think it should come down to amount, but I do understand it from like your perspective and you trying to help me lose weight. The science behind it, it just doesn't fit well with me sometimes, and like what I do for my job. So I don't know. I just try to make sure that if I'm hungry, I'm going to eat. And I remember like learning in like my nutrition class, there's like the Mediterranean diet, and where you don't eat until like you're extremely full. You just eat until you're like satisfied. You know, you're not going past that mark. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of like my philosophy, I guess, if that's what you're asking. Like,
Okay.
yeah, like I'm gonna eat till I know like things are okay, and I don't even have lunch, so I'm already missing one meal throughout the day. So like if you look at like when I was logging the calories, like I was always under my calories because I'm missing that whole meal throughout the day. So like, and then I would get like kind of worried about it in my mind if I ate too much when I got home from work or before I went to work. So that's why I started like grabbing like little like trail mix snacks and stuff like that to take with me before I get into work. So there's like something I at least have in the middle of the day, you know. I don't know.
Cool, man. Yeah, definitely love to hear that, especially when your body's telling you when to eat, man. Listen to your body, most definitely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool, man. So, a few things I want to iterate moving forward. One, again, is the community thing. Secondly, is making sure that I have you reset the whole Fitbit app because for some reason it's not showing me what you log in on steps as well as what goes on in your day. So after this
Okay.
chat, we'll have you reset it and re-log it back on.
There is something I need to say about that. Sorry for cutting you off. So when I'm at work, I don't always have my phone in my pocket. So like I am doing a lot of steps at work, but like it doesn't show because my phone's not with me on my person. You know what I'm saying? Like I have it near my station, but like I try to stay away from it because I don't want to get distracted from what I'm trying to produce at my job. So that could be a reason why maybe if you're like looking into those numbers, you're like, oh, you know, this seems kind of off. Like I'm staying active, like I'm moving. You know, right now I'm talking to you sitting down, but like you know I'm playing with a dog or whatever it may be. So.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm glad I got that cut out the way. Good.
Yeah.
Now, again, the last thing was based off what you told me, which was I wasn't familiar with in the past about your history with dieting. I just want to make sure moving forward, if you aren't using my fitness pal because of the whole mentality thing, I can see where you're coming from. Although I'm not able to see on my end of the stick what goes on in terms of your calories consumed versus how much you burn. And if you are using the MyFitnessPal, I'd like you to again reset it and log back in and it should readjust, realign everything back into the system so I can see a little bit more of what's going on in your day. Again, you
Okay.
have lost weight with me throughout the first 2 weeks. It's been up and down. The goal moving forward is to achieve consistent weight loss progress. So for that to occur and happen, I need to really see more data on what's going on in your life so I can make better adjustments or tell you better things or things you need to hear that's going to be more likely to get you to your goal. That makes sense.
Right. Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Cool, man. Well, do you have any other questions or concerns for me here on this chat we have here, man?
Um, I don't think so. I feel like we kind of covered everything that needed to be talked about. I do know like weight does like flux throughout the day. So like I weighed myself after, the gym this morning, and I already had dropped like 3 pounds from when I weighed myself this morning. Initially I was like 257, and then I got down to like 254. So I was like, oh, okay. So maybe that could be it too. It's when I weigh myself during the day, what time of the day maybe I should be weighing myself. I don't know if it's gonna make a difference or not, because like remember that one day I seen in my measurements it was like 251. So I was like, I had lost weight drastically, but then I found myself back in this kind of like comfort weight around 255. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know.
Okay. What I definitely found what worked for me in the past was definitely visualizing, associating the physique with the level of actions that I want to become. I find that's what worked for me in the past.
Yeah.
Maybe it can work for you too. Just a bit of a visualization and just really focusing on the right action steps needed. And weighing yourself in the morning before food intake, anything else tends to work best.
Okay. Cool.
Now, look, if you found that helpful in any way whatsoever, go follow, go subscribe to this page below to give you insight on how you can drop your next 20 pounds in only 16 weeks.